There's a legal term for something that the Justice Department did last week. It's called vacating a conviction. There's a simpler term for what's actually happening, and it's called rewriting history. On Tuesday, the Department of Justice filed papers asking a federal appeals court to erase the convictions of the leaders of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. 12 people in total, all convicted of seditious conspiracy for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack on the United States Capitol. The administration had already done a great deal to get to this point because you'll remember, since returning to office, President Trump issued pardons and commutations to roughly 1,600 people who were charged in connection with the January 6th attack. But apparently pardons and commutations were not enough. This week's filing seeks to go further, to vacate the convictions themselves, erasing them from the record entirely. Consider what happened to what those convictions represented. Seditious conspiracy is a very rarely used charge. Prosecutors brought it because they believed, and juries agreed, that this was not a protest that got out of hand. This was a coordinated effort to stop the lawful transfer of power. At Stewart Rhodes' trial, prosecutors played a recording of the Oath Keepers' leaders saying, "We should have brought rifles. We could have fixed it right there and then. I'd hang effing Pelosi from a lamppost," end quote. The judge who sentenced Rhodes called him an ongoing threat and peril to this country and to the very fabric of our democracy. Stewart Rhodes was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, was sentenced to 22 years in prison for his part in the January 6th attack. Now the Justice Department, the same institution that secured those verdicts, is labeling its cases, quote, years-long Biden-era weaponized prosecutions, end quote. That framing is worth dissecting. The Trump administration has accused the previous Biden Justice Department of weaponization for prosecuting men who were convicted by independent juries on evidence presented in open court in front of judges appointed by presidents of both parties. This is not weaponization. This is the justice system working as it is intended to work. Meanwhile, since receiving their pardons, at least 33 former January 6th defendants have reportedly been charged with or convicted of additional crimes. The administration would have you believe these were all American patriots. And there's one more consequence of all this that's worth noting. If these convictions were vacated, these men will no longer be prohibited from owning firearms. A former federal prosecutor put it plainly this week: the collateral consequences of a felony conviction are gone. This is not mercy. This is something else entirely. This is an attempt to declare officially through the machinery of the Justice Department itself that January 6th was not what we all watched happen with our own eyes. The cameras were rolling. The records are public. History doesn't vacate that easily.